Okay, now let's practice one problem from chapter 8. And now we will do one problem which is on special order decision. This is problem number E821A. If you have your textbook, please open page number 485. I'm also showing you the problem here, and I hope you will practice with me. So let's read the problem. Suppose the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, has approached Collectible and More with a special order. The Hall of Fame wants to purchase 53,000 baseball card packs for a special promotional campaign and offers 32 cents per pack, a total of $16,960. Collectibles and More's total production cost is 52 cents per pack as follows. So you will see the breakdown of the cost per packet that Collectible and More actually spends. So this is the breakdown. So you will see that out of these 52 cents, first three costs are variable costs, which are direct material, 11 cents, direct labor, 6 cents, of variable overhead, 10 cents. And they have quarter or 25 cents per package, which is actually a fixed overhead. Now we will see what are the requirements, and you have little more information. Collectible and More has enough excess capacity to handle the special order. So when we went over the PowerPoint slides, first you need to check whether you have enough capacity to accept or to produce or to handle the special order. So this company already has that capacity, so they can accept the order. But now we will check what would be the impact of that special order on their operating income. If they see that because of this special order, their revenues are higher than the costs, and that will have a positive impact or increase their operating income, then the company should accept the special order. If they found that the costs are higher than the revenues, and of course that will decrease their overall operating expense, they should not accept the special order. Now requirement number 1 tells you that prepare an incremental analysis to determine whether Collectible and More should accept the special order, assuming fixed costs would not be affected by the special order. So our first requirements assumption is that fixed cost would not be affected. That means if they produce additional 53,000 baseball cards, then there will be no change here in their fixed cost. So when we will consider the cost of producing these 53,000 baseball cards, we will consider only the variable cost. That means the three costs: direct material, direct labor, and overhead. Can you do a quick check? What's their variable expenses for producing this baseball pack? That means if you add these three costs, first three costs, which is 11 cents, and then 6 cents and 10 cents, if you add this, only the first three variable costs, you will see that the variable expenses for producing one pack is how much? It's 27 cents. So now we will do this little calculation and we will check what would be the impact on our operating income. So let's do the problem. Let's write down the name of the company, Collectibles and More, and I will write it down as incremental analysis for a special order. So now we will do a little income statement, and we will apply the concept of contribution margin. And after doing that, we will figure out what would be our contribution margin and what would be the ultimate impact on our operating income. So you know the concept of contribution margin. Contribution margin is the difference between revenues and your variable expenses. So let's do an income statement to check our contribution margin. First, we'll calculate our revenues, and they actually mentioned here the total sales price is 16,960. We could also check that by using the per unit sales price multiplied by the total number of packets or units. So per unit sales price is $1.32, and they are actually selling and manufacturing 53,000 units or packets. Now you could figure it out what's the total sales revenue would be. And if you do it, that means 32 cents multiplied by 53,000, you will get it, which already they mentioned, it's 16,960. Now we will subtract our variable expenses. And the problem already mentioned the three variable expense for every pack, each unit, only one unit, and we will multiply it by $53,000. So what you could do, you could use separate lines, or you could use all variable expenses together. Let's do it quickly, and I'll just show you all together. So your direct materials plus direct labor plus your variable manufacturing overhead all together. Let's do the little calculation together here. Your per unit direct material is 11 cents. I'm just doing all together to make it quick, but you could use it as separate lines. Direct labor is 6 cents. It's already given here. I'm taking all this information from the problem. Variable overhead is 10 cents. 10 cents. And if you figure it out, your total will be 27 cents. And then you can multiply it by 53,000. That means your total variable expense is 27 cents. And we have how many units? 53 units. This 27 cents is for one pack or one unit. Now we're gonna multiply it by 53,000 units, and this actually gives you the total variable expense. Please use your calculator. 0.27 multiplied by 53,000, and I got 14,310. So our variable expense is 14,310. And this is how you could figure out what is your contribution margin. So if you subtract your variable expenses, you will see that your contribution margin is actually positive, because from here I see that their revenues, which is 16,960, is obviously higher than their variable expenses, 14,310. And if we subtract 14,310, let's use your calculator and do it, from 960, I found our contribution margin in this problem is 2,650. So this is our contribution margin. Now we will use this assumption. They say that the fixed expense will not be affected. That means there will not be any additional fixed expense. So apparently there will be no fixed overhead expense. So if you would like to complete your income statement, if you like, you could do so. Just we will write down like this. fixed costs or fixed expense is ultimately zero, because the assumption is that fixed expense would not be affected by this special order. So fixed expense is zero, which means that ultimate impact on your income net income or your operating income is positive. So your operating income will increase by how much? If you take this special order, so your operating income will increase by your contribution margin, which is 2,650. Right. So you see your operating income is actually increasing. That means the ultimate impact on your operating income is positive. So the company should accept the special order. So your decision will be yes, accept the special order. As long as you will see that the impact on your operating income is positive, or your operating income is actually increasing, then you should accept the order. Right. So this is our first scenario. Now we're gonna do our second scenario. That means requirement number 2. So let's read it. Requirement number 2, you will see that it's the basic assumptions information will be same, just they have one new assumption here. So requirement number 2. Now assume that the Hall of Fame wants a special hologram baseball cards. Collectibles and more must spend $5,100 to develop this hologram, which will be useless after the special order is completed. Should Collectibles and more accept the special order under these circumstances? Show your analysis. So the second assumption is that the client actually wants a special hologram, and you need to purchase one machine for this hologram, or you need to spend $5,100 to develop this hologram, and after this special order you will have no use of it. So that means this is kind of a fixed cost. We will say it's a fixed cost because this hologram is required even if you produce like only 1,000 pack, 1 pack, 10 pack, 100 pack, 53,000 pack. So it's kind of a fixed cost that you need to spend to develop the special hologram. So now they have one fixed cost. Now we will consider this fixed cost and we'll see what would be the ultimate impact on your operating income. Now we will use the concept of contribution margin. Here you see that in this problem you already know your contribution margin, and since the sales price and your variable expenses are all same as before, so we don't need to do the complete income statement. Rather, we can just do from contribution margin, because according to our assumptions, there is no change in your sales revenue, there is no change in your variable expenses. So this part, that means the first half of this income statement will be same. So instead of redoing the whole thing, let's start from the contribution margin, and we will consider the new fixed expense, which is this hologram development cost, and we will check what would be the ultimate impact on our operating income. So let's do our requirement number 2. So here you will see that our contribution margin will be same. So the contribution margin is as before, which is $2,650. Right, so I'll write it down, $2,650. Now you have one fixed cost, this hologram development cost, which is $5,100. So I will subtract this fixed cost if you want, you can write it down. Fixed cost for hologram development, which is given here, $5,100. So if the customer requires that they need this special hologram, otherwise they will not purchase those cards, then you have to spend this $5,100, which is a new fixed cost, and you will find out that because of this hologram development cost, the operating income impact is what? So let's subtract this new fixed cost, 5,100, from your contribution margin, which is 2,650. So if I subtract this to 650 minus 5,100, please use your calculator. I found a negative number, negative 2,450. Right, 2,450. So ultimate impact on your operating income is 2,450. That means your operating income will decrease in this case. Operating income will decrease. Right. So operating income, so I can make a separate sentence. This is your operating income. This time it's negative 2,450. That means in this scenario, operating income is decreasing. Operating income will decrease by 2,450. So our decision will be don't accept the special order. So our decision will be do not accept the special order. Right. So this is how you can analyze by using the concept of contribution margin whether a company should accept any special order. So you will have another practice problem for your homework. So make sure you do this problem with me when you are watching this video, and you will do another similar problem as your homework.